Hey everyone, I'm Scott Webb, and I am going to show you today how to use LinkedIn and how to find alumni on LinkedIn. So the first place I'm going to take you is uh, their LinkedIn homepage. So here we are. I've gone to LinkedIn, and here I am. It always opens generally on your feed. Um, so how do you look for alumni? The easiest is basically to click on, usually if you're on your own profile and you've included uh, the institute on your profile, you can click on it and you can get to it. Otherwise, you can also click up here and you can do, Middlebury, and it'll come up. So Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey. You can click on it here. There's lots of ways that you could look up alumni. Every single organization, including, the institute, every higher education institution, every company, every nonprofit, everyone's got a homepage on LinkedIn that's like an organizational page like this. Um, all institutions of higher education will have alumni. Otherwise, it'll also have people who work there. So you can click, the people who work here, but most of the time when you're looking up a higher education institution, you can look up alumni. And as you can see, there's two different ways. So you can click this down here. When you click on home, it'll show a little bit of information about, the organization, our recent posts, events, things like that. About obviously, this is really good for research for other opportunities if you wanted to work here at the Institute, for example, or you wanted to work at another organization, looking at the About section. These are typically updated by human resources or communications professionals that run or have access to updating LinkedIn sites. So someone from a communications team here at some point updated our information here. In posts, this is another easy way to find any posts. You can see we're proud of our alumni and the things that our faculty are doing around the world. And we like to show off all the cool things that MIIS students are doing around the world. Anyway, I'm here to show you alumni. So there's two ways to look up alumni on LinkedIn. First is here. This is a visually appealing way of doing it. Basically down here, you can see there's 13,078 self-identified alumni on LinkedIn. This is a self-identified thing. These are not like verified alumni that positively went to the Middlebury or Monterey Institutes at some point in time. Most of them did. I'd say like 99% of them, have done something here substantive enough where they will feel a connection to the Institute and would feel some sense of support for any alumni that, would reach out to them for whatever reason. But there's many people on here who may have just taken one course here, like, during January, or they took a summer language course here many years ago when we had that option here. So not all of the people that are listed here as alumni are necessarily people who got a degree here and would feel compelled to help you, but most of them are. So you can see here, this is an interesting way of showing it. There's like where they work, where they live. You can scroll through it, what they do, what they're skilled at. You can click on these things. So for example, if you want to see all of the alumni in California, this isolates it. And you can see down here, this is basically more visual of a representation. So if you wanted to look like this, one way that I like to do it sometimes with this view is, say someone wants to, find all the alumni in, Chicago. So, the greater Chicago area, for example. So that's kind of a cool list. Let me take off California. So can isolate it. So we've got the greater Chicago area, 135 self-identified alumni in the Chicago area. So you can, scroll through here, you can see a good visual representation, and you can very easily click connect on people that are interesting to you. Keep in mind, this is everybody, right? So this is going to include translation, interpretation, policy, non-proliferation, education management, MPA, MBA, because we had an MBA for many years. So all iterations of all MIIS degrees of people who have LinkedIn accounts, you can see here. Another way, and this is another thing. This is where they work as well. So you could see, you know, these are, the organizations where at least two people work there. Every other organization that would be represented by this list has one person working there. That's why it doesn't say, any more beyond this. Anyway, so this is a good way to look. What I prefer to do in a more robust search is to use this link here where it says 13K alumni. This takes you to the traditional search page. So what this has done, this is the same as when you are on just a regular search and you do, Middlebury Institute, right? You can click on Middlebury Institute and then you just do people. This is the same basically. So this is everyone associated with the Middlebury Institute. Another way of doing it, let me go back to what I was looking at a moment ago. Um, Middlebury Institute alumni. Okay, so this is, all alumni of the Middlebury Institute. You can see down here, there's like 10 pages, probably all 13,000 people are represented by this list. This is another way of looking at everybody. You can refine this. So these are all my first degree connections. So if you reach out to me as an advisor here at the Institute and you want me to connect you to somebody that you are a second degree connection, if you're connected to me and I am the common connection with somebody that you would like to connect to, you can let me know. And basically, I could reach out to these people. When I'm connected to somebody, like for example, Lynn Bentaleb, she and I were in the same MPA program together. When you are connected to someone, you can see their contact information. So she's a first degree connection to me, and I can click on her contact info. And to the extent she has shared it, this is where I can look up somebody's email. This is a really easy way for me to pay attention to who I'm connected to, and maintain these connections and quickly, see where I could email somebody. So someone who's not a first degree connection, let's say, I'd like to connect to this person, Carly Zilch. I am not connected to her yet. So you can see, because I'm not connected to her yet, her contact info is probably not visible to me. So what I could do is I can connect to her by clicking connect. So there you have options. If I can send without a note, if I send without a note, Carly will basically get a very short note saying, I'd like to connect you on LinkedIn. It's totally impersonal and it's completely generic and there's no context. There are times where this is fine. If you're talking to someone or you meet them in person and you say, let's connect on LinkedIn. If it's someone like in your classroom or one of your classmates or a professor or me, you can just click send without a note. That's fine because we're all friends, we're all connected, we're all working together. This is a normal thing. If it's someone that you are trying to network with, it's best to add a note. You want to be careful about doing this all the time because you only have a certain number of notes in a month. And I might have reached, okay, I have not, oh yeah, I have 3 personalized invitations remaining for this month. So I believe you get 5 a month. So you can't do this all the time. That's why it's okay to just send without a note in most cases. So you can see you have 200 characters here to write a note. So you can say like something like Carly. Um, um, something like uh, something short like I'm using this opportunity to share linked in I'm you can write something short. Basically, you have 200 characters. You want to write something really short, like, I'm interested in connecting to you. We're both alumni. I I hope we can find some time to connect, or, you've had a really interesting career. I'd love to connect with you here on LinkedIn. Please let me know if I can help you with anything. That would be a good, simple thing to do. In the meantime, I'm just going to send her a quick note because I know we have lots of other things to talk about. So that's the first thing. I wanted to show you how to find an alumni on LinkedIn. Another way that I use this very often is when a student says, I want to connect to someone, I'm moving to Chicago and I want to meet someone in Chicago. So, I can click on here, show results. Typically what I'll do is say, okay, cool. Look, there's a lot you can see. So you'd have to narrow it down a little bit, but it's a good start. So, when you copy and paste a chat like this, or, a URL like this, it will hold. So I could copy and paste this in and put it into an email and say, okay, here's all the alumni on LinkedIn. It saves you a step, basically. Um, the other way I do this, so back to all MIIS alumni. This is what I use most often is the current company. So let's say you want to find all the MIIS alumni that work at Apple. You can just click on it here. By the way, what comes up here in this search box, these are the most common occurring employers for MIIS alumni. So, most people have, MIIS on their profile. There's obviously a lot of people at Department of State, a lot of people at DLI, a lot of people who are working at the Center for Nonproliferation Studies. So let's just see, who are the MIIS alumni at Apple? Show results. So I go here, and this is all the MIIS alumni working at Apple. You can see there's quite a few. I bet like the overwhelming majority of them are in translation and localization management. There might be some MBAs there or some others. But you can see, they're all here, and you can choose, with whom you'd like to connect. So that's another way to do it. I can back out. We can pick a smaller company, like let's say, there's a company called Core. Well, and let's just do another one like Ernst & Young. Okay, so yeah, this is great. This is a much smaller list. So you can see we have one that I'm a first degree connection to. So if you tell me that you wanted to work for Ernst & Young, Oksana is the first person I would probably go to. Sometimes if it's a company where I don't personally have any connections, what I will typically do is try and reach out to any MIIS alumni that are there. That's my first go-to. My next go-to is always an HR person or a talent acquisition person because they're always looking to build lots of connections. Okay, so that one other thing I wanted to show you, there are many, many, many groups on LinkedIn for various program specific groups. So, there's a lot of MIIS groups that I'm a member of. So like the Trade and Commercial Diplomacy Network, there's an Environmental Policy Network, there's an Education Management Network. There's a generic Middlebury Institute of Alumni Network. As you can see, it has quite a lot of members. There's other, various groups, like DPMI was a course we had for many years. Here's one for OCRM and Ocean Focused. You could see that this is an old group that's kind of defunct. But yeah, there's lots of groups like that. So you can do that. While you're here at the Institute, you have access to LinkedIn Learning. You log in basically using your Middlebury credentials. You kind of link them. I did it many years ago, so it just automatically connects, but it'll ask you for your Middlebury account and it'll connect it. And then you have full access to LinkedIn Learning, which we have linked into this networking module that you're watching this in. Okay, so other things I can show you. I showed you groups. I showed you how to search. The more you like posts, the more you will see more of the same things. So make the algorithm work for you and start clicking on things and resharing things that are useful to you and useful to your network. The more you go on here and give feedback, the more the algorithm will work for you. So click on the positions that you like. When you are clicking on positions and other opportunities and articles and other posts, it'll show the person who posted it that you liked it. So this helps build connections. So for example, when I reshare something on my page and if you're connected to me and you like it, so you can see all my posts. When I post something and you like it, I will eventually see that you have liked it. So, there's analytics and things like that I can see when someone, because I was very active this morning, so I just reposted a lot of positions. Anyway, cool. I don't want to make this video too long, but I wanted to give you an overview of how I use LinkedIn. More to come in class on Tuesday. So thanks for listening, and I will see you soon.